Alrighty then, I just watched episode 15 of Sword Art Online, beginning what people call the bad arc of it. So, I know people are curious as to what I think, you know, moving forward from here. So, only speaking for episode 15 here, obviously, because I haven't seen past it at this point. I can safely say, what was wrong with that? That was actually a pretty decent episode. That was actually pretty good. I actually really enjoyed that. See, this is what independent thought looks like. Yeah, I did not see... Alright, there was one problem I had with the episode, and it is addressed, like, halfway through, and that was, like, this whole thing with Kirito's sister... And the fact that it was heavily implied she was in love with him, and I was like, oh no, you're not doing this, are you? Please don't do this. And then halfway through the episode it confirms that in fact he's not her brother, but he's her cousin, which is still gross, but I know it's not as frowned upon in Japan. I know, I mean, you know, they went for that kind of angle with Yuichi and, well, Naoki's attraction to Yuichi and Kennen, so I know in Japan that's not considered as weird as it is in other parts of the world. It's still creepy, but it's not as bad as if she... It's not quite as bad as if she was his sister. When it got to that scene where it explains that he was adopted into their family and, you know, that he's actually a cousin, I was just thinking, yeah, you might want to start with that next time, because otherwise you're making yourselves look disgusting. But, no, I liked this episode. This episode I thought was actually pretty good. It was like, we're getting some fallout of the events after, you know, the whole sort of online crisis and all, and what's been happening in the real world since then, and I liked it. I liked what was going on. I thought it was interesting, this whole thing they're going for, that not all the players have come out of the game, and Asuna's one of them, one of the players who hasn't come out of the game, so now we're setting up a new mystery as to why some players haven't logged out. I thought that was all good. I thought this guy who's betrothed to Asuna, this guy who thinks she, you know, he's gonna marry her and that she's his property. I thought he was very well established as being a slime ball. Like when he's sniffing her hair, I was like, what kind of pervert is this guy? And yeah, he is very creepy and very well established, and you know, you do just want to punch him in the jaw. I was actually saying to myself, right, Kirito, this guy's a scumbag, you need to give him a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. I'm guessing this guy's going to be like a major villain in like the next part of the series. I'm going to guess he's like going to go into the new MMO they go into, or at least that looks like that's what's going to happen, judging by the description for the next episode. But yeah, I thought things here were good. Granted, look, this is only one episode, and this is just the transitioning episode. All right, so you know, I know there's still plenty more to go, and people are probably saying, "Oh, just you wait," and I'm saying, "Just you wait," because you're talking to a man who, from the start, said his feelings were going to come from his udder. From the start I said I was going to just be completely honest with this, and, you know, I'm not going by what anybody else says. Independent thought. I would have kind of liked it if from here on out they'd kind of try to have Kirito adapting to life in the real world again, like dealing with the problems in the real world after the fallout of the whole SAO incident. That would have been interesting in my opinion. That would have been a neat place to take the series, but, you know, if they're going back into an MMO, that's fine. I'll just see where they go with it. But yeah, I actually liked this episode. Big surprise, I actually liked it. So we'll see what happens moving forward. So yeah, nothing left to do but to go on to the next episode. Note to self: the Land of the Fairies would make a really good name for a gay bar. So, episode 16. This was another episode that I honestly genuinely enjoyed. I don't see what was so bad about it. I mean, granted, I'm only 2 episodes into the bad episode, so I may be made to eat my words still, but honestly, I've really enjoyed the past 2 episodes. I don't see what's not to like. My only major critique is the way that Yui was reintroduced. It's just kind of like, oh, hey, Yui's back, and apparently she's Navi now, but Honestly, that to me is just a minor complaint, because really they had to bring it back in at some point, didn't they? And I suppose the title of the series doesn't make any sense anymore because they're not technically playing Sword Art Online, but they're still playing a game that was built from the same engine and the same resources, so it's kind of like Sword Art Online 2.0, but if they had called it Sword Art Online 2, it probably wouldn't have sold as well because it's got the same name as the game that just slaughtered hundreds of people. Which, by the way, nobody seems to be bringing up or be concerned about. This doesn't seem to have been made a major issue. But I mean, are you seriously going to condemn the second half of the series just because they're not technically playing Sword Art Online anymore? Because if so, I think that's really shallow. From what I've seen of these episodes, it does make me wonder if the joke I made in the previous recaps about people only thinking these were bad because the internet was saying they were bad and people don't want to think for themselves, so they decided to go along with the crowd, was in fact true. But again, I've still got plenty of episodes to go, so, you know, I may be made the fool, but if I am proven wrong, I'm a big enough man to admit when I'm wrong. But I like what they're doing with this. I like that they're playing another game now. I think this is a very interesting thing to do with this genre. I like that, you know, the whole surviving the death game thing wasn't drawn out too long, it was just one part of the story, and now we've got a new game and a new situation and a new goal in mind. To me, that's progression. Oh, and please let the GM of this world, or like the NPC ruler of the fairy world, please let him be called Oberon. I think that would just be perfect. It would be cliche, but I think it would just be perfect if the king of the fairy people in this world is called Oberon. That to me would just be perfect. Yeah, I studied theatre. Oh, I loved when Kirito was meant to make his heroic entrance and he just face plants when he comes in. I thought, that genuinely made me laugh. It's like, yeah, you're not the hero you were in Sword Art Online anymore, Kirito. This is a whole new world. You're gonna have to learn this, the new mechanics of this world. I thought that was genuinely funny to me. I'm guessing this blonde girl is meant to be Asuna 2.0, and I bet that wound up a lot of people, but I'm okay with it as long as if she finally meets Asuna, if she's with Kirito and she finally meets Asuna, and it's like, if you've ever played Uncharted 2, when you finally run into Elena again, and she sees Chloe, and Chloe's just like, who are you? And Elena's like, I'm last year's model, apparently. If that's the interaction between this character and Asuna, I think that would just be perfect. Not just Asuna saying I'm last year's model, apparently. Oh, terrible. Asuna and Kirito shippers are gonna hang me high for that. But yeah, I honestly like this episode, and I know some of you are typing in the comment section now before the video's even over that, oh, you're gonna turn around, oh, your opinion's gonna change as it goes on, oh, you're gonna join the hive mind. But for now, I genuinely enjoyed these two episodes, but we'll see where it goes, so let's go on to episode 17. I don't know why I just did that. Think of all the joy you'll find when you leave your world behind and bid your fears goodbye. You can fly, you can fly, you can fly, you can fly. I am doing a terrible rendition of this song. Episode 17, again, an episode I actually enjoyed. Oh my gosh, like, I think it's because so many people built up that this is where it gets bad. I was expecting like Love Hina kind of bad. I was expecting HLP kind of bad. I was expecting that kind of bad, like, you know, the worst of the worst, and because it's not hitting those notes, to me it's actually not that bad. Okay, cards on the table. Is the real reason you're saying that these are the bad episodes because Asuna's been reduced to being kind of a damsel in distress, and you think, you know, oh, that's sexist, oh, why should she be the damsel in distress, all that jibber jabber? I kind of see where you're coming from, but I honestly think you're looking into it way too hard. Oh, and by the way, Asuna 2.0, Leafeon, or whatever she's called, I can't remember her character name. The fact that she turns out to be Kirito's cousin sister, yeah, called it. I saw that coming. I knew that was what was going to happen. Called it. That wasn't a shock for me. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't exactly the most thrilling of episodes, but it was like the final part of it for me, which made it really interesting. Oh, and by the way, the King of the Fairies in this game is called Oberon. Yes! They did that! Yes! They made that reference. Oh, and he's got Asuna there to be his Titania. Oh my gosh, yes! Yes, they are doing it. They are they are referencing A Midsummer Night's Dream. So who's going to be Puck? Who's his Puck? Who's going to be Puck? But it's a shock to hear old Anime Jack talking about such cultured things such as Shakespeare. But yeah, the last like 7 minutes of it when Oberon, you know, creepy stalker pervert, is talking to Asuna about what he plans to do, and this whole idea of expanding upon the nerve gear technology to basically create a mind control device. That I thought was really interesting, and I like the social commentary that the Americans have a big interest in it. Yeah, that was some clever social commentary there. Quite honestly, I'm surprised they were allowed to dub that. Because yeah, I thought that was very clever. I was like, yeah, Americans wanting mind control technology, no surprise there. In fact, I'm surprised. In fact, I think they might have that technology today. How do you think Donald Trump has amassed so much support? Hey-oh! But yeah, I didn't see anything like to outwardly hate about this episode. And again, still early days. I may be made to eat my words, but I have enjoyed the past 3 episodes I've watched. But we'll see if that continues with episode 18. I come from the net. I search through systems, peoples, and cities for this sprite, Asuna, my friend. My format? I have no format. I am a renegade, lost in the web. Pretend nobody got that reference but me, but if you did get that reference, you are the most alphanumeric person ever. Okay, episode 18, right? I'm gonna be honest, I promised honesty right from the start. This was probably the first episode I genuinely didn't like. However, it wasn't so much anything to do with the plot, it was... it was all the gratuitous fan service with blinking Kirito's sister cousin. Oh my gosh, they're establishing that this girl is in middle school, just about to move up into high school, so she's very much a minor, but yet they're showing us her underpants. We haven't seen where we're watching her bathing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh my god, really? Oh my god. I've only just gotten over the lolly girl back in Sword Art Online, and now you're doing it again. It's... oh, what... Another thing that I kind of didn't like was that Yui was giving this speech about how she doesn't understand how humans can be so aggressive towards one another when deep down all they really want is compassion, when just a couple of episodes ago she was complaining that only she and Asuna can be affectionate towards Kirito. So this kind of seems like a contradiction. I mean, I could believe it if she didn't fully understand this about humans, but you can't say that after just a couple of episodes ago she displayed those very emotions she doesn't understand. And they're not even going for, oh, I'm developing a human side and I don't really understand it. No, this is just an outright contradiction. Also, for somebody who calls Yui his daughter and was like being so fatherly towards her in Sword Art Online, Kirito was being a bit jerkish. towards Yui. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of a better word, so I use something that isn't even a word. He calls her weird and just shoves her back in his pocket. Yeah, great. Father of the Year right there. So yeah, this episode had its problems. I don't want to say it was a terrible episode, but I can say it's the first episode I genuinely didn't like. There were some good elements to it. I mean, creepy stalker pervert I think is a very, very good villain. Like, it really does a good job of making you hate him and just go like, oh, you... can't wait for Kirito to punch you in the face. I like the whole thing of Kirito's cousin sister saying that she never understood the appeal of virtual reality games until she tried them for herself. In a way, it's similar to people who say they don't understand the appeal of MMOs, then try them for themselves and then become addicted. Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed those moments, but all the gratuitous fan service and the out-of-character stuff and the contradiction to things that was said previously, yeah, that was a deal breaker for me with this episode. But I'm not going to become cynical about it from here on out. I'm still going in, you know, with a neutral mindset, see where the plot goes, see where it takes me. I actually personally think the pacing this time around is a lot better than it was during the Sword Art Online arc, because you might recall my previous recaps, that was a big problem of mine, that things seem to jump around, but because, you know, Kirito's only got the space of a week to accomplish this in, I think that makes the pacing a lot better. Oh, and who else thinks that Kirito's new avatar kind of looks like Zack from the Final Fantasy VII universe? That's what I kept thinking, especially when he got the huge sword as well. I was like, Yeah, Kirito has basically become Zack with sleeves. But yeah, he looks like Zack. But yeah, this episode, it wasn't for me, as has been thoroughly established, but we'll see where it goes. I'm still going in with kind of a mutual mindset. We'll see where it goes, and people are going to be commenting now saying, no, it all goes downhill from here. Oh, you are definitely going to hate it because we know what you're going to think because we're inside your mind. But yeah, I'm going to end giving my thoughts on episodes here for now, and the next journey video will probably cover episodes 19 to 24. Then I'm probably going to do episode 25 just as a standalone video because that will be the finale of it all. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed hearing my thoughts on the beginning of the bad episodes, and I shall see you in episode 19 and onwards.